Hello and welcome. So now we are going to make a CSV file, which is a file that we can put out here into Google Sheets. As you can see, then we need an ID for every node and node port, and then we just add the text into it, and then we'll simply just share this Google Sheets with other language speaker. So you can like send it to a German friend and say, hey, if you want to, will you help translate my game? And then he will, fill out the German sections for you. And then we will simply just go in and download that as a CSV file and put it back into Unity. So it should work. Wonderful, right? And that way it will be much easier for you to translate a lot of the languages. So let's get started with that. So first we need to go into our dialog node container. Of course, we need to add a public string in here called port gun. So that needs to be big, port gun. So that it has an ID. Then we need to go back into load and save. That's actually dialog node. So we need to go into the dialog node. And in here, we actually need to add that it adds it. That adds that port gun. So we're gonna go port gun equals gun new gun to string. However, if we of course already have a port we get from the parameter, we just wanted to use the one it already has. So we're gonna add that right here. And then we're going back to Unity. You should see that it's actually not updating because when we made this, it just had nothing. Meaning if we add a new one, so let's just I'm supposed to be the player. Where is supposed to be? So if I add one here, I click save. You can see this one has um, a unique ID, so we're just gonna remove that one. Click save again. So for this, because we only have one right here, it shouldn't be that hard. So if we just go in here and remove this one, not remove it, outcome it, save, go back in, then load, save, and it has now made a ID. However, right now it of course is going to make a new ID each time we save. Save and load. So now we can just go back into our code and remove that section there, save, and go back. And now each time we load and save, you can see it no longer changes out here. Hooray! Alright, so now that we have that out of the way, we can actually start to make this tool. So inside dialog editor, we are going to make a new folder that we're gonna call CSV tool. And I'm just going to make all of the scripts in the beginning. We're going to make a helper. The helper we might want to move to another folder, but for now we're just gonna keep it there. And we need, of course, a custom tool. Again, this one might also need to be moved somewhere else, because this is just named custom tools. So those here are actually, they don't need to be in this folder because they kind of don't belong there, but for now, we're just gonna keep them there. And now for the things that actually needs to be there, that is the loader, the load CSV. Alright, and let's add the other one. That is save CSV. And then we need one to actually update all our different languages. Because when we add and remove languages, we need we need a tool that can do that for us, so we don't need to go through each of our dialog nodes and do it manual. So we can just, with one click of a button, we're gonna call that update language language type. Let's just call it that for now. All right. So actually, let's make the helper first. And this is a little fancy one, the helper one here, because we want to use the reason why I make it into a helper and throwing code in here and making it static actually is because we're going to reuse this specific part of the code so many places that you might as well just have one called helper so you can call it from anywhere. All right, so we need to make it public so we can call it, and it of course needs to be static when it is inside a static class. Then we're gonna make a list of the type generic, and we're gonna call it find find all objects from resources. If I could spell this correctly, let me just check. Resources. And then we of course need to do the T here. And whoop-de-doop-de. Alright. So this function will go in and find all of the specific types of from the resource folder that we put in here. So if we put in dialog container, well, this one will go into the resource folder and find all the dialog containers and return them to us. That's pretty nifty. Alright, so let's make so it actually does that. So we need to make a new list. We're just gonna call that TMP. That is the list that we will return. Alright. Then we need to actually get the resolve path. So resource path. That is going to be application dot data path, and we need the slash resources. I'm just gonna copy it to make sure that I'm not spelling it wrong. So there we go. So resources, and we're going to make a string array that will contain all the different paths or directional. I cannot pronounce that correctly. I'm sorry. There we go. That is going to be direction. No. Oh no. There we go. And that will be get directions. And this one takes in 3 different things. It takes it takes the path, so we can just copy paste the path. And to be honest, I don't know why it needs a star, but it needs a star. And then we need to go through the search option, and we want to take the all directionals. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that correctly. All right, so now we should get a fine array of all the different direction, pretty much all the folders. So now we're just gonna go for each directionals, and that is just a string. And I am just gonna call it directional. There we go. All right, so now we need to find the directional path. If I could spell this correctly, would be nice. So path, and that is equals directional dot sup. Alright, so what this does right here is that it removes the paths, not the path, it removes a specific amount of strings in front of the string. There we're going to simply take resource path and add in here dot length. And then to make sure that we also remove this one here, we're gonna go +1 because there is one over here. There we go. So when this goes through, it will make the path all the way in. So it will go like C, Unity, resources. It will make the entire path hint to where it is or where the files are. I really hope this makes sense. And then we will then load all the resources that we can find in each and every one of the different resources, each of the different folders. I cannot speak today, I'm sorry. So we're gonna go resources dot load all, and here we're gonna go directional path dot, and then we of course wanted to tell it we want to find the type, and we want to find the type of T. However, we also need to actually and then we actually go outside, and then we need to cast it. So cast T. Oh, what? We are missing a reference. We need the list reference. There we go. And then we need to go dot to array. There we go. All right. So what exactly did we do here? Well, first we told it to go into this specific path and find and load all the resources of the specific type. So first we tell it what type it is. Then we're gonna cast it to the type that we are getting from here. And then we're telling it to make it into array, and then we save it. Wonderful. And for some reason, when you go through each of the folders, sometimes it will duplicate the ones that it have found. So it take the same folder multiple times. I don't know why it will do that sometimes. So we're just gonna go db.contain. Oh, contains item. So if it does not contain this item, well, we will add this item. That way we'll make sure that we won't get any duplicates. And this is of course the T. I'm just gonna T. And at the end, oh no, not for each. We need to go do that outside and go return DMB. So then we are going through each of the directions, finding all the loading all the resources of that specific type of our generic type, then adding each of them to our list. However, we're making sure that we only get one of them, and we're then return it. Beautiful. Alright, I think that is fine enough for this video. So, see you next time.